The following story has been brought to you by StoriesToInspire.org.
A Yid told me the story. I think his name was Berish Goldstein. It's a very powerful story. He said that he used to go to Yerushalayim every year, Shabbos Tshuva time. He went to Yerushalayim. Comes to Yerushalayim, and he went to Rabbi Wine's Shabbos Tshuva drasha. And Rabbi Wine is saying the halacha. What's the halacha? That on the Seres you made Tshuva, you have to be careful. Should only, even if you're not makbid on Chalav Yisrael the entire year, should be makbid on Chalav Yisrael. Be very careful with Chalav Yisrael. Even if the entire year you're not makbid on Pas Palter, some as I bread from the bakery, what's not baked, right? You didn't turn on the fire. Says you made Tshuva, you should be makbid. Then he goes like this. Rabbi Sai, here in Yerushalayim, go and find me Pas Palter. Go and find me Chalav Stam. Even if you wanted to, you couldn't find it. So how will we makayim this halacha? What is the equivalent of something that we could do to be able to fulfill this halacha? So you know what he said? He said, what's the big nisayon? Speaking to mostly Americans. For an American that comes to Yerushalayim, to have patience with the people that come to ask for tzedakah. And some people get very frum. They're davening, knee. Like, now you come? I once literally saw someone whacking someone with his tzitzis because he was angry that he came to the middle of Kriya Shema to ask for tzedakah. So maybe he shouldn't have done it, but he was whacking him with his tzitzis. So he said, like, that's where your Mesiras Nefesh should be. So he's listening to this. Okay, the next morning he's coming to daven, as it says, Yemei Tshuva, and sure enough, he's in the middle of Shema, and someone comes over to him, clink, 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 clink. Moses Kala. Like, I'm a Shema, come on. And this guy was, not stopping. He was doing his job. And he was about to no. So as he finished Shema, he said, okay, let me do what the rabbi said. And he opens up his wallet, he takes out a $50 bill. And he wanted to ask the guy for change, but of course he couldn't talk it after Shema. So he was going to go, no. The guy would say, how much do you want? No. How much do you want back? You want back $1? Give me 49. No. Back and forth. Then he said, look, I'm upset that he's making me mafsik a Kriya Shema. But because I want change, I'm going to go into a whole conversation with him. So he decided, take the whole 50. Kriya Shema, I can't ask you for change. And I don't want to send you away, because I was Makal by myself, take the whole 50. Guy was quite happy with that, and he continued on to Shmon Esrei. A year later, he comes back. Comes back to Yerushalayim, and he's davening in the Spinka Shtibel, and he says, there's always a Yid here that says, Psuka de Zimra. He's always davening. Where is he? He's sitting Shiva. Oh, really? I should go. You didn't hear the story when remember that Arab drove up his Bezek car in Malchi Yisrael into a bus stop in Nebuch, and he came out with a wrench and goes. He said, that was his brother. He said, really? That was his brother? Let me go be Menachem Avol. And he goes to Menachem Avol, and he sits down, and they recognize each other, and he says, you don't know what you did for my brother. What I did for your brother? Yeah. He said, I'm telling you, last year, before it was between Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, I remember, he was going through such a hard time, you can't imagine. I mean, he had the gemachs were like boom, it was like Putin invading Ukraine on all sides. He was under such pressure, you can't imagine. And I tell you, he mamish did not have a Yom Tov. And he said he walked into shul, and he shouldn't have. He told me. He said, my brother told me. I didn't realize it was a middle of Kriya Shema. I went over to him for money. And like, forget it, And then I felt like such a sense of yish. And he gave me a $50 bill. He didn't ask for change. And he said it wasn't that the $50 was going to solve all his problems, but it gave him such a boost. It gave him such a lechtik that you can't imagine. He says, you don't know what... my brother came back smiling, and he's thinking to himself, like Rabbi Nishalayla, right? That life is so many nisyonos that one crushes in on the other. Do we know what? Where? Do we know the power that we have?
Enjoyed this story? Come again. Bring a friend. StoriesToInspire.org